Jared Anderson versus Andriy Rudenko, 10 rounds in the heavyweight division. The main event this weekend over in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I believe is where the location is. Let's get into it. Let's start with Jared Big Baby Anderson. 15 wins, no losses, 14 wins by way of knockout. After his last fight, man, a few cats DM me, right? And they were talking about, man, Jared Anderson is washed up. He's trash and he's no good and this and that. I just let them get their words up. I didn't even respond to it. I don't respond to stuff like that, man. There's no point to me. It's just crazy to me, though, how people think Jared Anderson is terrible after one fight. But in reality, to me, I think this was exactly the fight that he needed. It was exactly the type of adversity and test that he needed in his development. The cat's only 23 years old, right? He put a beating on everyone he's faced up until he fought Charles Martin, right? And it's good when you're a developing fighter for many reasons, right? Confidence, you got to build up that record a little bit. You're stopping cats, you're building excitement, right? Building all that stuff, and it's good to a certain point. But when you get to a certain point, you want to see where you're at against those tougher caliber of fighters. I remember after his 10th fight, people were saying, man, he's ready for Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. And I was just like, yo, wait a minute. Can the man develop a little bit more? Right? Can he get into the ring with someone who is a veteran with experience and has skill? Can he do all of that first before we put him in those categories with these other guys, right? At that level, let's just let the man develop. We needed to see him get tested a few more times and see. There was no doubt. You look at the tape, you know the man has got talent. He's got skill. He's got the speed. He's got all the tools and skills and potential to be a top in the division and a champion physically. But he needed more experience, right? He needed some tests to break through mentally when his back is against the wall. He needed more things to happen to him, right? And I actually think his fight against Charles Martin was a step forward to me, at least to me. I don't know about how you feel, but to me, it was a good test that he needed, and I think will definitely make him better moving forward. Now, against Charles Martin, his last fight, he brought a lot of pressure, right? Fighting off the front foot, using his jab, trying to find his way in. He wasn't forcing the fight, right? He scored a knockdown in the 3rd round and followed up with a strong 4th round. The issue that I saw in that fight was he was making the same mistake defensively. He was pulling his head back, but he didn't step back and rolled, right? His head was moving, but his torso stayed in the same spot. So Charles Martin just stepped through, followed through with an extra step, and his shots was able to land more cleanly because his head moved, right? But the body didn't move. So past a certain point, the head just became stagnant. He didn't move his full body. And Martin just pushed through a little bit more with the shots, and he was able to land consistently with kind of the same punch in that left hand. And when the shots landed cleanly, man, they were starting to give Anderson some problems. He had him wobbled a few times. Jared Anderson's chin was tested. But you got to give him credit because he kept coming, mixed up his punches, and started to loop in and sweep in some of his shots instead of just pushing it through and being predictable. But you also started to see some of the improvements that he was naturally making as well, too. Martin caught him with a shot, right? And when you get caught with a shot and you're wobbled and you're trying to figure out, yo, how do I buy myself some time? The best way to buy yourself some time is to wrap up. Yes, he didn't need to do that before because he had never been to that point where he was really in trouble like that, but he was learning on the fly. It showed me that, man, look, I'm thinking of ways how to adjust, how to be a better fighter inside of the ring in real time. It was a subtle adjustment, right? But it was a good adjustment nonetheless. I also thought his conditioning was very good throughout the fight, right? I thought he was able to still bring his power as the later rounds went on. I thought his consistency was still pretty good. He was still making the same mistake defensively, but from an offensive standpoint, man, it goes to show that, yo, the man's speed carries, his athleticism carries, the power carries. Did he make mistakes? Of course, but he fought back and he showed a level of toughness that we needed to see. We needed to know if he could overcome that type of adversity and dig deep and still with an ugly fight, do what he needed to do to win the fight, and he did that. I believe he'll get better, but we'll see what he looks like. But against Martin, he was showing that was a growing pain type of fight, right? Anderson is still an exciting fighter, still a lot of potential, still a very good and exciting talent, man. So we'll see what he's able to do this weekend and what he has learned from his last fight. But let's talk about his opponent. 34 wins, 6 losses, 20 wins by way of knockout. Rudenko has fought guys like Alexander Povetkin, Zheli Zhang, the Big Bang, right? To name a few known names. He's 39 years old now. He hasn't fought in 2 years. He's coming off a loss in his last fight, but he's a big body. Out of his losses, he's only been stopped once. He's a decent counter puncher, has pop in his hands, has, I wouldn't say devastating power by no means, but he's consistent. He's a heavyweight. You know, heavyweight can land one shot at the right time and it will cause you problem. He doesn't throw a whole lot of shots. He's looking to set up his shots and make the right shots at the right time. When he's got his opponents hurt, that's when he really starts to let his hands go. He's not going to wow you with his skill and athleticism, but he's got that workman type mentality type of style where he's going to chop you down round to round, use his size round to round, and try and impose his will on you. If he can make this one of those in close, grueling and rough and tough and ugly type of fights and boring, he can have success in those areas. When he fought Zhang, if Zhang would have just let his hands go a little bit more, man, I thought he would have been able to get the stoppage win. You know, Zhang was able to stop Joe Joyce, and I don't think Rudenko is better than Joe Joyce or has a stronger chin than Joe Joyce. It's just the fact that Zhang let his hands go a lot more against Joe Joyce, and I felt like he should have got him out of there. But Rudenko did get stopped in his last fight. I didn't see the tape, couldn't find it. But the thing that worries me about Rudenko above them all, man, is the inactivity. He hasn't fought in 2 years, and he's 39 years old. So he wasn't already a speedy guy inside of the ring. So I'm not sure that inactivity is going to help him in this fight. So who wins? Look, I think Jared Anderson will stop Rudenko. The one thing that we learned about Jared Anderson, among many other things for every person, right, is that his defense needs work. So this is a good fight for him to kind of work on that, work on some of the things that he's been working on in training and incorporate it inside of the ring in real time against a 39-year-old Rudenko who hasn't fought in 2 years, who gets hit too cleanly too often. He should get stopped in this fight, man. I'm going to say Jared Anderson wins this fight within 6 rounds. What are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you have winning this one? Let me know in the comment section below. If you would like to support the channel, there's a couple ways you can do so. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to support by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle will be on screen as well. Any amount goes towards the growth of this channel and will be greatly, greatly appreciated. We got a membership section going on the channel. I don't always get to do all of the suggested videos you guys suggest in the comment section below. But if you become a member, those suggested videos rise to the top, and I will do my best to get those done for you. Or if you would like to become a member just to support the channel, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated as well. Shout out to everybody that continues to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate each of you. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.